In today's video, I am going to be breaking down a zone offense that is absolutely amazing, and the reason is because it spreads out the zone defense that you're playing against. Whether it's a 2-3 zone, a 1-3-1, a 3-2, don't matter. Basically, what you're trying to do here is you're trying to spread out the zone so you can have attack angles or backdoor cuts available for whoever has the ball to pass to. So let's get down, let's check this out and see why it works and why, in my opinion, the old school high-low offense is dead unless you have big, tall 6'9" guys. So you really have to understand how zones work, and any of these 3 spots, technically 5, are double team locations, which means that if you can spread out the zone, so for example, if you can go 4 corners and have a guy in the high post, especially for teams that zone defense goes outside of the 3-point line, let's say they don't have a rule where the coach says you have to stay inside the 3, if you're really stretching out the zone, this is essentially what it's going to look like, potentially something like this. So by having a guy in the high post, you are creating what I call essentially a distraction. Because if he was to get the ball, that is a very deadly spot. This is going to get a lot of attention, and you can then create a lot of opportunities for just simple off-ball movement. So by having player 4 cut, you're going to be bringing in player 3, and that will allow player 2, who's lifting, to be wide open, potentially for an open 3. But because how 2-3 zones work, if player 1 is over here, player 3 needs to stunt until player 1 gets over there, which means that off-ball movement with player 4 will allow for player 4 to be wide open. So if player 2 didn't get the open 3, player 4 is going to get the open 3. Now, if everyone recovers in time, and let's say the 3-point shots are not open, player 5 can go into this high post, we can pass this ball back up, we can get that ball into the high post. This now allows player 1 to be wide open. We can pass that ball over to player 1. Player 4 is technically supposed to stunt. Player 5 is going to be looking to cover the middle. We may have a backdoor cutter. If that's the case, player 5 takes him. Player 5 then, of course, can cut. This is going to collapse the defense. We can just basically work off of off-ball movement until we get an open layup. And if we can feed that high post as much as possible and as often as possible, you're going to be very successful. Even against 3-2 zones, this can be really highly effective. Because now, for example, let's say we had player 2 who was guarding player 1, just as an example. If we can pass down to player 3, that's going to draw player 4 out. We could even sink player 5 into the low post and get that ball into that low post fast. This is going to be looking to collapse the defense, and we may have opportunities for weak side cuts. This could be a layup. If that doesn't happen, player 4 is going to be lifting. This could collapse the defense to a point where we can skip pass out to player 4. Obviously, you're going to need a strong passing 5 to be able to do that. However, just by working off-ball movement in this offense, just trying to get that ball into that high or even low post with player 5, just trying to get that ball into player 5, passing that ball around, will allow you to be super successful. This is actually a very simple play that you can run, and I prefer this, especially if you have a team that's either full of shooters or players who can shoot and players who can finish at the rim, because now you're going to be opening up a lot of backdoor cuts that will allow you, because defenses make mistakes, that will allow player 5 to hit the baseline cutters, and that's going to open up a lot of opportunities. So for example, let's say we got that ball into the high post and that brought player 4 up, because that can happen at times. Player 3 would then cut, quick pass down, quick easy layup. If that draws player 5 over with a mistake, whether this is maybe a 3-2 or 1-3-1 type of zone or whatever, we may have a cutter on the opposite side, pass, layup, simple, easy offense. I hope that this play helps your team win more games. If it does, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time. Now, if you want to have a defense that will allow you to not allow this to set up. So for example, if you are on the defensive side and you do not want this play to be set up, make sure to go check out my Deadly Defensive Strategies book that is down in the description below. It's got a whole bunch of different types of traps that you can run on the defensive side so that you cannot allow the other team to set up offenses like this. So definitely go check that out.